Welcome to the Maine Department of Education Summer Food Service Program Lunch and Supper Meal Pattern Overview. The purpose of this video is to provide an overview of improving the eating environment at lunch and supper meals, the different options for serving lunch and supper, and the lunch-supper meal pattern components and requirements. As a reminder, it is important to think about the eating environment at your sites. The eating environment can impact whether children return to your meal sites and continue to participate throughout the summer. This slide provides some different areas to consider. You may serve meals family style or cafeteria style. Family style would be when a trained employee serves the children from the table using appropriate utensils to serve correct serving sizes. Cafeteria style involves the children going through the tray line. The staff should always be trained to recognize reimbursable portion sizes. Meals delivered to your sites may be unitized, which is a prepackaged meal containing all meal components, with the exception of milk, which can be served separately. Or you may choose to use offer versus serve at meal sites, which permits a child to refuse one or two of the 5 items offered at lunch and supper meals. All required meal components for lunch and supper must still be offered in the correct serving sizes when using offer versus serve. Remember, this program was created for children who are experiencing food insecurity. Do not urge any child to decline any of the meal components. The decision to use either unitized meals or offer versus serve will vary per program. Here are the 4 meal components identified in the Summer Food Service Program: milk, vegetables and/or fruit, grains and breads, meat alternates. Please see the Summer Food Service Program Meal Components training video for more detailed information on individual components. The meal pattern for lunch and supper must contain 5 items from the 4 components. Keep in mind that, unlike breakfast, the meat alternate component must be offered at lunch and supper, and 2 kinds of vegetables and/or fruit must be offered, giving you the 5 items needed. For lunch and supper meals to be reimbursable, they must contain 5 items from the 4 meal components in the correct serving sizes. Or, if using offer versus serve, a child must select 3 to 5 items in the correct serving sizes. Please note the superscripted numbers as we go through the charts. These are endnotes that will be explained following the next 3 slides. Milk must always be served in its fluid state at a minimum of 8 fluid ounces. At lunch and supper, the serving size for vegetables and/or fruits is a total of 3/4 cup. Sponsors must offer 2 different types of fruits and/or vegetables at lunch and supper meals. The total serving size must equal 3/4 cup. For example, a child may take a 1/4 cup of broccoli with a 1/2 cup of mandarin oranges for their total of a 3/4 cup serving. Or, on the same menu day, a child may choose to take more of one fruit or vegetable and refuse the other. However, the total must still equal 3/4 cup. You may always offer more. The serving sizes for grains and breads are the same for lunch and supper as they are for breakfast and snack. There are a variety of grain and bread options to choose from. Be sure your grain and bread products are made with whole grain or enriched flour or meal. You may refer to the grain crediting video for more detailed information about choosing grain and bread options. Meat alternates are required to be offered at lunch and supper meals. Be sure you are offering the correct portion size of meat alternates, as the serving sizes are greater at lunch and supper than they are at breakfast and snack. Lean meats, poultry, and fish are credited based on their edible portion. Bones, water, and other fillers do not count towards the weight. A variety of cheeses may be offered in 2-ounce serving sizes. Eggs, dried beans, and yogurt are all considered meat alternates. When using peanut butters, 4 tablespoons is the serving size. Oftentimes, sponsors will pair peanut butter with other meat options since 4 tablespoons is very thick. You may use nuts or seeds at lunch and supper meals to count towards half of the meat alternate component. I will now briefly review the endnotes for designing lunch and supper meals. Remember, milk must always be served as a fluid beverage. Endnote number 4 reminds sponsors to serve at least 2 different types of a vegetable or a fruit or a combination of the two. We encourage you to avoid offering fruit or vegetable juice at lunch and supper meals. However, if you do, the juice may not be counted as more than half of the fruit-vegetable meal component. Number 5 reiterates that all grain and bread items must be made with either whole grain or enriched flour or meal. The Summer Food Service Program Meal Component video provides more information. Endnote number 7 refers you to Appendix A of the Summer Food Service Program regulations for more information on alternate protein products. One example is a meat product with added soy protein. Number 8 states that nuts and seeds may not count as more than half of the meat alternate meal component at lunch and supper. Therefore, if you choose to use nuts and seeds at these mealtimes, you must pair it with another meat alternate component. 1 ounce of nuts or seeds is equal to 1 ounce of lean meat. This complete meal pattern table and its resources can be found in your Nutrition Guidance for Sponsors Handbook. Outlined on these next 2 slides is a 1-week sample lunch menu including serving sizes and meal component descriptions. Let's review some options. On Tuesday, the meat option was a 2-ounce credible amount of chicken nuggets. A 0.9-ounce biscuit was served as the credible amount of grain for the meal. Steamed broccoli was offered in a minimum serving of a 1/4 cup to be paired with mandarin oranges. The minimum serving size for the oranges is a 1/2 cup with a total of 3/4 cup fruit and vegetable for the day. Finally, the sponsor offered a choice of low-fat or skim milk in an 8 fluid ounce serving as the milk component. This chart is a continuation of the sample lunch menu. Please review the options. When planning your menus, use a variety of meat alternates, fruits, vegetables, and grains and breads to provide children with access to the most nutrients. Use the food buying guide to assure food items are crediting properly. Refer to your Summer Food Service Program Nutrition Guidance for Sponsors Handbook for a complete explanation and menu examples. This handbook can be found on the USDA website, or you may access it through the link provided below. Thank you for taking the time to view this training on the Summer Food Service Program Lunch and Supper Meal Pattern.